Hi, my name is Mary Peterson, and this is my final presentation for the CIT 260 course. I worked on the Revenge game with Diana Hughes. Throughout this presentation, I'm going to go through the different items in the rubric so I make sure that I have gotten everything covered. The first item on the rubric was explain the difference between a static class variable and a class non-static instance variable, and then give examples. So the difference is the static functions are allowed because they are not associated with an object instance. They are final, meaning that a value must be assigned to the variable when it is defined. They must have a code block. Values of static variables cannot be changed. Non-static functions cannot be defined and have a code block after the function signature in an interface class. So here in this example, you see the getArea function. It is a non-static function because it has a code block after the function signature. The other functions are static because they do not have a code block after the function signature. So the getPerimeter, getVolume, and draw functions are static functions. The next item on the rubric was demonstrate through examples from your program your understanding of when to use an array versus an array list versus an enum. I think to understand the differences, we need to understand what they are. An array is used to model a fixed length list of objects or values that can be changed. An array list is a variable length list that may contain different types of objects. Objects can be added to or removed at any time. An enum is a type of list that has a fixed length where all of the objects in the list are the same type, but unlike an array, the objects in the list can never be changed. So an array is a fixed length that can be changed. Array list is a variable length that can be added to or removed at any time. An enum is a type of list that has a fixed length list. It has a fixed length, but the objects cannot be changed. Arrays and enums can be much more efficient to use than an array list because the number of items is fixed. They are good for that. However, they are hard to use when it comes to adding and deleting from the list. So in that case, if you want to add or delete, an array list would be better to use. So this is an example of an array from our game. Okay, this is an example of an array list. In this array list, you can add items to this array list. This is not from our game. This is from the examples that were given to us in the course. You can add items to this array list at any time. And in the example, they use the add inventory items function and the add function to add items to the inventory. This is an enum, and like what was stated before, these actors can never be changed, and the size of the list will never change either. Okay, the next item on the rubric was demonstrate through examples of code that you have written for one of your individual assignments your understanding of how to use a basic for statement and an index to go through and access each element stored in an array or array list. So a for statement is used to navigate through the list of items in an array. In this example, the counter variable is initialized at 0 right here. And it repeats the block of code in the curly brackets, the length of the inventory array. So I is the position of the variable in the array. So to go a step further, how to use an index is to go through and access each element stored in an array list. That's the function of an index. The index keeps track of the positions of the items in an array list. When you add functions to an array list, the index positions them accordingly. assigning them a number. The number that they are assigned is the element's position in the array. The index starts at 0, and so the number 1 position will have an index of 0, and the number 2 position will have an index of 1. Okay, the next part of the rubric was to demonstrate through examples of code that you have written for one of your individual assignments your understanding of how to throw, propagate, and catch custom runtime errors. So this is an example from our game, the move player to location. Throwing a custom exception, you use this when a specific error occurs in your program. The throw statement tells Java that the error occurred, right here, throw statement, tells Java that the error occurred and that it will handle that error with a try-catch statement. Throw, right here, initiates it, new creates the exception object, and map control exception, here in the example, propagates the exception. On the next page, I will show you the try-catch statement. Here is an example of a try-catch statement. When the game control exception is caught, the exception classes get message. So we've got the game control exception is caught. The exception classes get message right here. Function is called. That message is then shown if the exception happens. Okay. The next item on the rubric was to explain when and why a character stream class should be used versus a byte stream class to read and write a data to a file. So Java initially only supported byte file streams. A byte file stream reads and writes binary data 1 byte at a time. So byte file streams must be used to read and write binary data and also data stored to the ASCII format. On the other hand, character stream data is saved in a Unicode format. Unicode is supported in all languages, not just the Western ones. In this, each character is saved to 2 bytes of memory. So before, the byte file stream was saved to 1 byte. This is saved to 2 bytes. Byte stream can only read 1 byte at a time, so character stream data is not supported by the byte stream data. Character stream data should be used when reading and writing all character data. And here's a list of character streams supported in Java. All of these different ones: buffered reader, char array reader, file reader. And we used a few of these in our code. Buffered reader, file reader, print writer, we used in our code. The next item on the rubric was to walk through an example of code that you have written for one of your individual assignments and demonstrate your understanding of how to write character data to an external file. So in this example, the location of the file is players.txt. The line out file right here, out file equals new file writer, file location, is the line that tells the program to create a new file stream. Then the other out file lines with the names write the name to the file stream. If there are any errors, those will be addressed and the user will be warned by the line error saving players' names to the file. Finally, it is very important to close the file stream. If the developer forgets to close the file stream, it will really take its toll on the other programs that they are trying to run, especially the ones that need to use that file. Again, if it can't be closed, the program will warn them with this error closing file. Okay, now we'll switch gears and we'll go over to our game. Go over to NetBeans and go through our game. So this is our game, The Revenge of Merek. This is the welcome screen that kind of tells the people about what the game is going to be about. And you enter your player's name below. So I'll just enter mine. Welcome to Afanara. Mary, the future of the kingdom is in your hands. then they have this welcome main menu. Sorry, that was my baby. The main menu, and we'll go start new game. And this is the menu that comes up when you do the start new game. I'm going to go back to the main menu by pressing the E button. The main menu, I'll show you the help menu. It tells you different things about playing the game, goal of the game, how to move around. Whoops, I pressed the wrong button. How to move around gives the directions. Print map, and we arranged it so that it will be okay, and we'll exit back to the main menu, and we will start a new game. And the I button shows the inventory that the player has. This player has not started the game, so they will not have any inventory on hand. If you press Q, the Q button, that shows you the different quests that are available through the game, and it shows you the description, the type, and if they are available or not. So available, if it was not available, it would say false. And if it was complete, it would say true. Okay, the next part is move. And then it asks you where you want to go, northeast, south, or west. Okay, and this is where we are having the problems that we cannot seem to fix. And so I'll go back and show you the other things in our game so that you get an idea, but those were some things that we just could not get to work properly. So the move, it asks you if you want to go northeast, south, or west, and then you type in which direction you want to go. So the save game, we did that, and it will save the game. And then the help button will take you to the help menu. We'll go back and V map. This is another area that we had a hard time with. We can't get through, get it to work properly. And the last is exit. So that is our game, and that were the areas that we could get to function properly. We have everything coded over here. Everything's coded out, and we did it. We just can't figure out how to get it to connect properly. So I will be submitting my GitHub account as well, so that you can see that we have done all of the coding. We just aren't able, for some reason, we aren't able to get it to connect properly. So that is my presentation, and I appreciate you listening, and I appreciate this class, and thank you.